Hi there, YouTube. It's me. I'm back. I know it's been a long time. I'm sorry. Anyone that has been subscribed, thank you very much. I've got a lot of subscribers since the time I've been away. Well, a lot to me anyway. And that's really cool. I really want to try to get back into doing serious videos daily so I can try to get somewhere. Got some attention from Vi's group. It's really cool. I doubt anybody from that group is still watching. If you are, I do have plans to make that racetrack called Snedgy's Driver's Test. It should be out soon. Hopefully you guys will play it. That'll be freaking awesome. It has been a tough few months for me. Long story short, people are terrible. Even the people in your family. And when they're fighting over inheritance, nothing else matters. So that's why it's taken me so long. I've got my new setup. Hopefully it goes well. It's my first time. That was probably loud. Not really testing anything. I'm just going to try to get into it because it has been about 3 months since I've had a full-length video. So, today, I'm doing what I'm officially calling a friendship test. But realistically, this is kind of, my get to know me, the YouTuber person type of video. A lot of times I've seen people do where they draw on their lives. I am not a very good artist when it comes to sitting down and drawing. I'm a really good Photoshop artist, as we're going to talk about in this video. But yeah, I basically just thought this would be a more fun way for me to do that. So it's a very ego-centric video. If you don't care about this, you don't care about me and learning more about me, go watch my Mario Kart videos I just posted. They're pretty fun. Otherwise, I'm not holding my friends' feet to the flames. I'm not putting them on the spot. They do not have to take this test at all. But if they would like, they can definitely comment their results, alright? And more importantly, if anybody does get all 11 of these questions right, I am legally obligated to provide you my phone number and email address. We are now best friends. That being said, question number 1, and I realize my face may be blocking part of the question here. I get molested by a mosquito. Question 1, my most irrational fear. Now our 3 choices are a theater shooting, developing schizophrenia, or the Blue Angels crashing at the air show. So these are 3 real fears that I do have. I'm a huge fan of Jurassic World. When Jurassic World Dominion came out, I rented a private theater because of my fear of shootings at theaters. I also do have one person in my family that developed schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is one of those diseases that you can be seemingly a normal individual and then all of a sudden your life completely 180s, and that is horrifying. Same with dementia or anything else like that. But I hate the idea of that I'm relatively normal and I can function as an adult member of society today, and that might not be true tomorrow. Blue Angels are amazing. I love them. I'm a bleeding heart liberal. I still really enjoy the air show. I don't want them to go away. There has been a Blue Angel that crashed during a performance before. It is not very common. I don't think it'll ever happen. Every single October, and I think April when they first start their season, I get that thought of what if it happens. And I'm not even necessarily afraid of it crashing into me or anyone I know. But every single year I have that thought. So, all that being said, quick side note, put in your answer now, which one you think it is. Here's my display of all the Dr. Pepper cans that I collected for Dominion. You can see that, or if it's too blurry, I'll maybe put up a picture later. But anyway, I collected all the cans. I did everything Dr. Pepper wanted me to do in order to get specific rewards from their promotion. I filled it out, showed them my receipts. I should have got a Jurassic World Dominion Dr. Pepper shirt. They didn't send it to me. They're fucking dicks. Fuck you, Dr. Pepper. Don't even like you that much anyway. I much prefer Pepsi. But yeah, there's all 7 cans with the special flavors that they released just for the movie. So, I consider that irrational fear. I also consider this irrational fear. Your answer is C. That has got to be my most irrational fear. But it is still a small possibility. Question 2. What has been my biggest disappointment? So, Few options here. Again, seen Tom Petty live. Jimmy Johnson failing to win the 2012 Cup Series championship. The Orioles, specifically in 2014, not being able to get to the World Series because of the Royals. These are 3 moments that are very painful for me. Very disappointing. I did cry after all 3 of these because I'm a huge fan. Well, not a fan of NASCAR anymore, as I've made clear on the channel, but I'll insert a video so you guys can see what I have lined up across my desk right now. I was a huge Jimmie Johnson fan. He is from San Diego. I really was a big fan of his almost from his very first race, and I've collected a bunch of diecast from him ever since. Now, as soon as he left Chevy, and I won't mention the other manufacturers, I have not really supported him, but at the time, this was huge. Another thing I'll mention about this is that the Tigers were really kind of favorited to go from the American League to the World Series that year. I remember the Royals barely eliminate the Athletics in like a 19-inning game when the wild card was 1 game back when baseball was actually baseball. The Royals go through and sweep the Angels. During that time, the Orioles just dominate the Tigers, and suddenly there's a mass shift where the Orioles, if they're not favorited, they are expected to be in the American League, or representing the American League in the World Series, and everybody's high on them. And then the Royals come through and sweep the Orioles, and it was miserable. And I was so very happy that Madison Bumgarner shut down that team. They ended up cheating. A lot of people bitch about the Astros. I personally could not care less when compared to the Royals getting caught cheating with pine tar on the catcher's gear in the World Series, and then suddenly the pitching staff all fell off a cliff when they weren't allowed to do that anymore. But your answer here is A. Because I was living about an hour and 20 minutes away from the San Diego waterfront, and along the San Diego waterfront, there's a bunch of different statues of soldiers at a USSO show, and one of them has his hand like this. Tom Petty had placed 2 tickets to his show in San Diego that was going to be 4 days after the post. Anybody can come grab them for free. They get the tickets. I happened to be on Facebook. I saw the second he posted it. It wasn't a very big hint. Really, all you could see was just kind of the hand and a little bit of the water behind. I know that area very well. I showed my dad. I told him we could definitely go do it. My dad was like, yeah, we could, but it's going to be a far drive. My dad was willing to do it. I decided not to because I figured there's no way that we'll get down there in time. Somebody's going to recognize it also, and there's no way. 4 hours those tickets went unclaimed. I absolutely could have got it, and I believe the following year he passed. So that was absolutely devastating. All right, question 3. If I could witness any singular sports moment, what would it be? So obviously 1983 Orioles is a big event because not only is it the last time we win the World Series as of right now, but I also have a huge infatuation with this specific team. Obviously, they're a good team. They won, but just an incredible lineup, and Jim Palmer is one of my favorites. And I have his autograph many times, but I have never seen anybody else have both Jim Palmer and Randy Jones, the 2 Cy Young winners, have their autograph each on this original print card. Now, I'm sure it does exist other than with me, but I've never seen any proof of it. And I personally got it signed by both of them, so I know it's a legitimate signature. That's a big one. John Force's 2018 win at the Denver Nationals. It is his only win of 2018. Very rare for him to have a single win season. The Colts, it was at the end of the 2006 season for the 2007 Super Bowl, but 2006 season when Marvin Harrison was there, and I am a huge fan of Marvin Harrison. The whole reason I ever started supporting Indianapolis, because I understand it's weird, Baltimore, Indianapolis, Detroit, and Detroit are my teams, But it was all because of Marvin Harrison. Now, I don't follow the NFL anymore. I have heard that his son is playing for the Cardinals. In that case, let's fucking go Arizona. But I would have very much enjoyed getting to see this team. I remember watching the game, and every second was stressful, but it shouldn't have been because it was against the Bears. No one ever expects the Bears to win. And it was really cool to see the game on TV the way I was able to, because my mom was letting me kind of skip doing the homework and project assignment I needed to get done for school in order to watch the game. So, little, precious memory, you want to call it. But, lock in your answer. The answer for this one is B. The reason for it being John Force's only win of 2018 is because that car that you see right there is a car that I got to design. So Peak and Chevy had a special competition where you got to enter your design. This is my design. Thank you, Josh, for buying me this car for Christmas one year. This is what I designed. It won. Peak and Chevy flew me out to Florida to watch it race. I was there in person for that weekend in Florida at the Gator Nationals. Unfortunately, John actually has an explosion for the third race in a row. It was California, Arizona, Florida, and it does blow up, and they did not have a backup body for my car at the time. Still an incredible experience, but then he raced it again in Denver, and I should have made it a point to go out there because he actually won in my design, and it was the coolest thing ever, and I really, really wish I was able to witness that. It did happen in my lifetime, but I wasn't there for it. And then question number 4. What really bothers me? Now we have 3 fantastic answers here. People who can't drive, people who just want to ruin anything at any time, and then specifically people that are very entitled, and then when somebody calls them out, they just pretend to act stupid. Now, I threw this question out here because pet peeve is usually the terminology for it, but I think this is way more than a pet peeve. I'm a pretty mellow, easygoing guy. People who can't drive should not be allowed to breed. At this point in life, with all of the assist and technology, if you cannot get in a car, go down the freeway, get off the freeway, shop, get on the freeway, and make it back home without a close call of death, what the fuck is wrong with you? You are terrible people. Hubert actually represents the critics. They made this character on Futurama just to be the fans that always want to point out any little criticism. So that's why I chose him. And then this is a perfect example of people that are entitled and they just think that they can bypass a line, for example, and then somebody cuts it out and they're like, oh, I didn't realize there was a line. 3 things that absolutely piss me off to no end. But even though A is a very strong candidate, and so is C, but A is a really good one, B is actually the answer here as well. Because as of right now, people are just, it's a trend to shit on anything. You can talk about Chris Pratt, just people randomly hating him for being in Mario, and then everybody loved the Mario movie. Talk about Jack Black, everybody loves him, and then all of a sudden, oh, he's in Minecraft. I am going to go watch Minecraft in theaters out of spite. I don't care about Minecraft, I don't really know anything about it, but the way that people are treating this movie from one trailer is absolutely insane. People also are saying that Borderlands was bad. Look, I don't know if it was a good movie or not. I've never played the game. I know literally nothing about that franchise. What I do know is that 80% of the people that are complaining about it haven't seen the movie for themselves. Statistically, they couldn't have unless they were all ripping it off. The people I know complaining about it, for sure, did not go to see it in person. They're complaining about the girl from Linkin Park right now, just trying to find any little dig at her that she believes in Scientology, that she supports Danny Masterson. You know what? A lot of other people are in both of those categories, and you don't care about them. You're just trying to hate on anything that comes out right now. You just have to take it apart, and that is why that is the worst of the worst. Question number 5, if you're still hanging around, I have definitely talked about this a lot before. We have Monopoly, we have Life, and we have Sorry, for which is my favorite board game. I own multiple copies of each one, some different versions of them. I even have a really nice Simpsons one, so I got some nice merch, and it's definitely a collector's item. I play all 3 of these all the time. I would not mind playing these on the channel. They're all games that people that know me would definitely associate with me, because I usually carry them with me when I go camping, anything like that, any family setting. But Monopoly by default takes the cake, because I think I own like 25 different boards at this point, and I'm showing no signs of stopping that anytime soon. Question number 6. What is my first non-essential post-lottery purchase? Meaning, if I win the lottery, what is the first thing I'm going to buy besides for a house, cars, anything that is essential? And you could say a car is not essential, but I'm talking about making sure we have a car that is going to be able to get anyone in my family around. They did steal my truck, remember? Anyway, so what is the first non-essential item I would buy? We have clothing, we have merchandise, and we have dental repairs, alright? I do care a lot about my clothing. I have a special M&M shirt on right now that I bought. I do my own laundry. I've done my own laundry for years. I know the details about what kind of detergent you need for what kind of clothes. I really go in depth on that. I only wash my clothes. No one else is allowed to touch them. I'm really, really particular about my clothes. I have an entire closet filled to the brim with shirts that I care about. Definitely an option. I have a fuck ton of merchandise, as you can see, for my bobbleheads, my Jurassic World collections, my Funko Pops, including one that Jake got me that I absolutely love, one of my all-time favorites. Comic book guy holding the Bongo combo. The Bongo comics in a Mylar bag. It's absolutely hilarious. I love that one. So, those are both great answers, and I would definitely... Nothing fell, that's great. I would definitely spend way more than any human would need to on those 2 items, but the answer is C for this one. My teeth have had all kinds of different repairs. I got, for myself, the liners from Smile Direct Club. At one point, I had braces, I had a retainer, I had something called the Herps appliance, not herpes. If you're making that joke, thanks, I haven't heard that since I had it, and every fucking kid thought it was an original joke. Basically, my jaw on the bottom side is way behind. I have a massive overbite. I can put my tongue out through my mouth with not opening my mouth, just my lips open. It's a problem. I hated it. Smile Direct Club straight up ripped me off. I talked about how they ripped me off in my US Bank video. If you were interested in that, go put 2 and 2 together. Fuck you forever, Smile Direct Club. Piece of shit. But yeah, this is something, probably the only thing I'm actually self-conscious about. And I would definitely like to have it fixed. I'd like to have my jaw forward like it's supposed to be. So I actually have a jawline. Doesn't look like I'm trying to mew all the time. I would not want headgear, so it's kind of a lie, but I'm going to think of a better way to represent it. Also just realizing I had Simpsons twice in this one, but oh well. I'm a fan, what do you expect? So question 7, my single greatest regret, alright? And our options are going to college, pursuing a motocross, supercross kind of journey, or switching from my original channel. So I did have scholarships. I actually had a college in mind that I was going to go to. I was really, really looking forward to it. There was one particular college in Ohio that actually got to work on a 1957 Bel Air, which is one of my all-time favorite cars. And it was for Edelbrock, which is the company that was giving us the sponsorships to get those challenge, or that was hosting the challenges to get those scholarships. So it was really cool. It was like perfect, and it was number 23, which is my birthday, so it was like perfect in every possible way. Really wanted to go there. Graduated high school at 17. At 6 years old, so I didn't want to go out to Ohio by myself. That's where it, and then never pursued anything else. At 6 years old, I was on a little stock motorcycle that you'd get for a kid, like maybe from Walmart. I mean, just the most bare bones little Yamaha you could ever imagine. And I was really, really good, and I was passing kids way older than me on bikes that were way better than the one I was on, and had teams that could actually make adjustments. I remember specifically this one kid that kept trying to challenge me, went off, and the team made adjustments to his bike. I was really, really good. I had one crash, didn't break anything, no scars, nothing really went wrong. I did, however, happen to jump over my dad and land in the Superman position, which could have been a big deal. It wasn't, but I really, really would have wondered what would happen. I'm not saying I could have made it to Supercross level, but I would really like to know what happened if I was able to pursue that any more than just that one day. I originally had Fishbulb89 as my channel. It is still up. I'm not going to get rid of it. I might actually start posting some other stuff over there, but it's going to go through a name change. So basically, my main reason for changing was that I had not really learned how to do any of the editing yet, and a lot of the videos just were not great quality, and I got embarrassed, and so I wanted to start fresh on this channel. And I also thought, you know, like Mark is Markiplier, Nogla is, you know, Nogla, but it's still him. Everybody recognizes his face and everything. I kind of wanted to have that same rather than the mascot. And then the last, you know, the deciding factor was The Simpsons are owned by Disney. This is literally right from The Simpsons, even the 89 portion of it. So I didn't want Disney to sue me. I did have way more success. I was pretty close to maybe being able to get monetized. But I started this channel instead, and we're not quite getting the success we wanted. So, honestly, not a regret at all. Comes down to these two. And as of right now, it might change, but as of right now, I don't know how far I would have gone, but I would have liked to have been able to give it another shot. I should have pushed for that. We didn't always have money, and a bike would have been expensive, so I didn't really push for that. I really regret that. I would love to know where I was. Even if I didn't get anywhere professionally, I bet I'd be a lot happier than I am right now wondering about it. Question 8. My favorite alcoholic drink. This might be the most difficult one. And to be honest with you, I just put it out there to see how many people I can mess with that actually knows me closely. So we have 3 options that are all whiskey drinks, alright? So, Old Fashioned is A. Jack and Pepsi. Yes, that's right. Pepsi is my favorite soda. I do prefer it over Coke all the time, even with alcohol. All right. And then whiskey sours. So they're all 3. These 2 are a little similar. I order these all the time. These are all 3 my go-to drinks. I'd say whiskey sour is my 3rd favorite. Old Fashions, it really does depend on the bartender. And for that reason, you can't fuck up pouring in soda and alcohol. All right. That is my favorite drink. I do enjoy it a lot. I wish more people had Pepsi instead of Coke. Alright, now question 9. My 2nd favorite soda. Because we all know that Pepsi is my favorite soda. Doesn't even come close there. But our options are Mountain Dew, Mug, and Pibb. So, Mountain Dew is obviously a very strong contender for anyone that knows me. I have probably drank $1 million worth of Mountain Dew products in my life. No exaggeration. Really, really bad, and I'm really, really lucky that I have not had any worse health problems than I have had already because of how much I consumed. It is really seriously bad. Mug, I love root beer. A&W is fine. I hate Barks. IBC, Mug, A&W, I could have put them all here. Just wanted to save time, so I use Mug specifically because that is also my favorite one, but it's basically root beer. And then Mr. Pibb. So, I got burnt out on Mountain Dew. It might actually still be my favorite, but, you know, I basically overdosed on Amp Energy, which is a Mountain Dew energy drink. And since that day, not only have I never had any kind of energy drink at all, but Mountain Dew just has not tasted quite the same. So they're out. I do love root beer, but there's sometimes don't want it. And that leaves Pibb. And a lot of people are probably going to get mad about that because allegedly Dr. Pepper is now the 2nd most desired soda in America. You're all fucking wrong. And this has nothing to do with them being dicks and not honoring their commitment to me when they were supposed to give me their product. But fuck Dr. Pepper anyway. Alright, question 10. The TV episode, not the series, because that is different, but the singular episode that has made me cry the hardest. So we have Scrubs, House, Simpsons. These two I have watched multiple times. Every single time I cry like a bitch. This episode, Homer's mom dies for real. There's other times where we were supposed to believe she dies and she doesn't, but she actually does die. And then there's a little montage at the end, and it's brutal. This episode is quite famous. People who don't know Scrubs still have heard of this episode. Brendan Fraser's character, spoiler, he dies. And it's really sad. It is really, really good. Some of the best TV. I've only seen this episode once because we have just started watching House. We're only up to the 4th season. But this character, his name is Eric Foreman. He gets a disease and he is on the brink of death, and it's really intense. This is probably the most serious and just actually fucked up episode out of the 3. But it doesn't quite... I did cry, don't get me wrong. Cried like a bitch as well. But not quite the same as these two. And overall, The Simpsons has made me cry way more. But Brendan Fraser's character is number 1 for making you cry like a bitch, guaranteed every single time. Fry and his mom, or Fry and his dog, should have also been included, but I don't have too much animation on that serious one. Anyway, that is our 10 questions. If you have got all 10 right, that's incredible. I will be sending you my information. But we have one bonus question for you, probably the hardest one. Alright, and for this one, I'm going to take away my face so that I can make sure that you guys actually are able to see all the options. So, what car would I pick if I could have anything in the world? Now, this is a very, very long list. I only included a few options, but we have the not GT40. We have the GTO Pontiac Judge. We have the GT40, the original one, not that bullshit that Ford came out with. The Shelby GT40. Alright. Then, look, there it is, that 1957 number 23 Edelbrock Bel Air that I was talking about. I would absolutely love to have that one. I'd love any Bel Air, but that one is probably my top desired. A 1953 Corvette. A Mach 1 Mustang, but you didn't think I was going to have Ford in there. A 2000 Le Mans Corvette, a 2024 Le Mans Corvette, the Intimidator version of the Monte Carlo SS, and maybe the one that will surprise you the most, the regular Chevy SS. This car is really, really cool. I love all of the cars, obviously, and this does not compare to the Corvette or to the Monte Carlo. But this is an awesome car, and I was really close to buying it. The only reason I got my Malibu instead of this car is just because I wanted something that was brand new, and unfortunately Chevy has discontinued this car, but this one is absolutely sick. And this is why this is a bonus question, because the answer is actually something you could know if you've seen my channel, if you know me at all. It's none of those. It would actually be the truck that we had stolen earlier this year. And I know it's about to be a year soon, like in the next 5 months as it got stolen, and I can't believe it, and it's absolutely devastating just as much as it was when it first got taken. And that was the get to know me video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment how well you did. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Join me in the next one. Thank you guys.